Well, we do have 6 days left in the session. I think we're pretty much stuck with having to deal with budgets. We're still going to be dealing with the education trust fund budget. That will be in the Senate now. It's passed out of the House. It could come back to us in sometime next week. We also will have the general fund budget being taken up in the House today on the floor of the House. Beyond that, I think we're probably going to see the road bill, the constitutional amendment that would use Alabama trust fund money to fund about $1 billion over a 10-year period to help with highway infrastructure. I think that is certainly around the corner. And then finally, I think we're going to see the grocery tax bill, which is also a constitutional amendment, that will come on the floor of the House. I'm hearing that support for that has eroded over time, so I'm not sure that we'll spend a lot of time with it on the floor of the House. It translates to about a 30% tax increase for the 10% or so of taxpayers across Alabama that are responsible for generating about 60% of tax revenues to the state already. So I think a 30% tax increase on that particular group is very unfair. So I think that that is problematic in this bill. I think the road bill is going to be one of those issues that politically is going to be difficult on both sides. It's difficult because we want, on one hand, to be fiscally conservative and protect the Alabama Trust Fund and to shield it because we know that it generates revenues to fund the general fund. On the other hand, it just takes common sense. It's not brain surgery. When you drive down any major road or interstate across Alabama, after you've been driving on those roads for about 30 minutes, your front end is out of alignment because of all of the potholes and other areas across our roads that are they're not maintained properly. And that's because we don't have adequate funding coming into the highway system to be able to do the types of things we need to protect infrastructure in Alabama. And we are going to have some infrastructure needs as we move forward. House Bill 99 this year was the Rolling Reserve Budget Act. It did move a little further along this year. This is the second year that we've introduced it, and we actually had the bill in committee for a public hearing. After the public hearing, AEA has been the primary group that has not necessarily opposed but hasn't embraced the budget bill. But this year they're beginning to talk about the fact that they're beginning to work with me to seek some minor changes to the bill to make it work in a way that they might get more comfortable with it. We're not there yet, but it will be back next year. And I'm very hopeful that next year we might see passage of that bill.